Hello everyone, my name is JO3 and welcome to part 2 of the story of the Yeees. If you want to see the first episode, link is in the description. You want to see it because it covers all of middle school of this friend group, how it formed, all that fun jazz, a lot of the moments. Because this half, it's the more depressing one, for sure. I'm trying a new way of recording these, by the way. My mic is currently right in front of my face, so if I'm a bit loud, that may be why. If it doesn't work out, I'll change the way I record these podcasts, because if it's too loud, then that's bad. So we're just going to get into it. Right now, freshman year, basically, my boys, the group was back together. C and D from part 1 had left. Besides that, all of the original members were back together. Great Bandito was there. The friend group was at the probably peak at the beginning of freshman year. Things went, along. Things happened. A couple funny things happened. One day, the janitor that everyone hates tried to move my boy Greg Bandito a table over because we were slightly loud. So then we moved over, and then he moved him over again. Then we just made fun of him the rest of the year. Very funny. Very, very funny. So yeah, that was fun. There was a lot of funny moments. Freshman year, for the most part, went okay. I mean, we had a couple fights, but freshman year was probably the most fun we had at the lunch table and the most fun we had outside of it. Of course, World War II, which we loved. I know a lot didn't, but I enjoyed World War II. Was it Breakout? Project Breakout? Whatever the map was called. For the, what's it called? The only mode that people saw worth playing in multiplayer. Oh god, I can't remember. I haven't played it in like 3 years. Oh boy. Time to forget it and be bullied in the comments. That's a joke. Sorry, I accidentally clicked the pause button, but we're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna roll with it. Anyways, so freshman year went relatively okay. I mean, we fought a couple times. There were some somewhat bad fights. This is when Ghost clan, that whole drama happened, and I talked about it a bit in a Crimson video, the JO3 Crimson Spotlight. But basically, Ghost Clan was a couple of the friends. We later brought in a lot more just as like members, but originally started out. Let's see, me, Angry Ford, Fast Hunter, Poe Plushie, which is one of the people who had moved before. I forgot that was his name until now. And someone called the Brit, which Poe Plushie just knew, but none of us knew. Interesting choice there, but Fast Hunter and Ford co-ran it. It wasn't my choice. I got kicked out for some BS. Got back in because it was BS. And then they kicked me because I made a video suggestion that somehow led to a massive argument. Don't know how, but that's just how toxic that friend group was at the end of freshman year. The end of freshman year is the downfall, which we'll get into a bit. Now, the end of freshman year is when the hotel happened. The final hotel trip I started talking about in the first episode. Basically, there was a bad fight. At this point, my half-sister, my only sibling, had been born. She was born the previous year, the previous summer. After the hotel trip we had that year. For my birthday, which is in May. So end of the year, basically. End of the school year. Somebody made I'll admit, probably wasn't the greatest decision, but keep in mind, my sister was less than a year old, and I will admit I was very, very protective of her. I was never protective of anything before her, at that, especially, then, so, I'll just keep that in mind. Somebody made a joke. I'll just tell you, not even a joke, really just something you shouldn't really say. If it was a joke, I wouldn't have probably been as upset. I won't say who said it, but somebody made a joke about my sister getting lung cancer, and basically it wasn't a joke. It was not even, I don't know why I keep calling it a joke. It was just something they said. And because I will admit, my parents they're not great. They're not great parents. Not necessarily terrible people. They were just probably they were like 20 and like 18 when they had me. They were not ready to be parents just yet, and still really, at least one of them isn't. The other, I mean, he's just beyond strict and other things that I won't get into here because he's not the subject matter. So I was with my mom at the time, and she smokes. I will say that, which is why they made that joke. I keeps calling it a joke. It's not a joke. So I was a bit protective. In the moment, I just instinctively, I didn't even like. I think it was originally meant to be a punch to the back, but I didn't even give the time. It was as fast as fuck, hard as I could. Didn't even give time to form a fist. So basically, chopped the back of like a wrestling chop or a slap, I guess, to the upper back of the person who made the joke because they were laying on the bed. That led to a fight. And even though I would argue I wasn't the one in the wrong there, I apologized first because of course I had to. Well, I didn't have to, but I'm the one who actually, I'm one of the few of the group that tried to at least get everything back on track, and for the most part, it did that night. That same person who made that joke also apparently just admitted to straight up, jerking it in the bathroom, for lack of a nicer term for YouTube standards, that night with all the boys right outside the hotel bathroom, like in the main room. Because the way that hotel is built, there's the main room, then, by the front door, there's the door to the bathroom. And he just admitted to jerking it in there while we were all just playing a game. Whether he's just joking or not, I honestly couldn't tell you with how he is. I won't say who it was, because then that's, that'd be a bit embarrassing, and I'm not going to do that. Unless for some reason they find this video and try to say something about me, then I can. But I won't for the sake of this video. As far as I'm aware, I think that they've finally cut off contact with me for the most part. At least that person specifically. One of the others might tell if they still stalk my channel. I don't know. I don't know if any of them do stalk my new channel at least. I know they stalked AA for a while after the Fast Hunter sort of petty drama. But, and dislike bombed like the video or two after that, they dislike bombed. Let's see. Yeah, that happened. That night happened. Other than that, wasn't terrible, per se. There wasn't really any other fights, at least. It came a few weeks later, after school had ended. Basically, I'll just go ahead and say it. I was about to enter a legal battle over custody of me. Well, I wasn't, but my legal guardian was. It was going to be my mom, and my dad, and my current guardian now that I live with. It was sort of a three-way thing for custody of me. My dad trying to get custody of me. My mom just wanted to transfer custody to the person I wanted to live with. So fair enough to her. But ultimately, I got the person I was living with at the time got full custody. So that happened. But as I was beginning, that took over my entire summer. So, rip to 2018 summer. Basically, the first few weeks of summer, I had, before it was really, I think the legal battle had begun, but it wasn't like, we hadn't been in court yet. So, I'm also not going to say any much more detail about that. But basically, I was talking with them because I didn't really have anyone else to talk to. Besides like my legal guardian and a couple other people and her attorney she hired, who I only really got to talk to like 3 times. I mean, so besides that, I was consoling, the friend group because I thought, hey, maybe they'd be a bit supportive. And one of them would just completely turned into a joke. So that's cool. I said, basically, I remember exactly what I said. I said, oh, boys, I gotta make a very important decision, probably the most important in my life so far. And one of them said, yeah, I gotta do too. Which shirt do you like better? And at that point, they had already known. I already told them, like, hey, I might be stuck on a legal battle this summer, so we might not be able to hang out as much. or I might not be able to at least. And that just pissed me off. I will admit, that just pissed me off. So that happened. Basically, a few weeks after that, there was a big fight. That was when I was kicked out of Ghost Clan for good. And the friend group slowly fell apart over a video suggestion. And then and that whole argument could be a video in itself. Basically, it came down to just throwing insults back to back and at each other. Me getting ganged up on by about 4 people, and me getting kicked from that friend group, and it sort of falling apart, but not really. Really, just the name and like the quote unquote group itself fell apart. Most of them still hung out, as far as I'm aware, from what I've heard from a few people, the few people I kept in contact with, who didn't, go through all, be part of it, contribute to it or anything. Basically, that summer was hell. I had lost my friend group, and they were really my only friends, because you were either friends with the friend group, a part of the friend group, or if you weren't one of those things, they didn't talk to you, for the most part, at school. You had to be friends with multiple people, usually. So anyone I talked to was associated with that friend group, and most of them were turned against me. So, that's fun. Once again, I will point out, this is from my perspective. They may have a different one. They see this, feel free. But that's my perspective. The only ones I talked to really after that were Fast Hunter, and years later, but now Bio. I think I'd messaged Angry Ford once, and I had messaged 2 of them before as well. One messaged me, actually, and then one I sent a message to, Chris himself. If you want to know who that is, look at the last video. I had messaged him trying to patch things up. Granted, it was 2 months later, but I was removed. I had no contact with most of them immediately for that entire summer. It happened in June, by the way, for context, and then August is when I tried to patch things up with him. One of them messaged me like it was just a casual conversation, and I just kind of went with it because I didn't want to argue or anything or make it awkward. So yeah, let's just talk about what's happened since then. So since that summer, we went through sophomore year, junior year. We're now in my senior year right now. It is February when I'm recording this. When will this go out? That's a good question. But, basically, things, well, they didn't go great. Sophomore year, I talked with Great Bandito, who's somebody I hadn't really talked to all summer. We talked because we had a game class together. Somebody who was a good friend of a lot of the friend group who I'd been friends with since like 6th grade. I also talked to. But like other than that, I didn't talk to any really the rest of them. I talked to Fast Hunter, who I'd already been talking to, obviously, and that was really it. The rest just kind of did their thing. I found a few other people to sit with at lunch and talk to for the most part. Sophomore year was probably my second lowest year. Freshman year was the lowest year personally for me. Sophomore year, in terms of like people I knew, people I talked to, was probably the lowest. I had maybe 4 close friends, and that's all who I talked to that year. Junior year was slightly better. A couple other people I talked to that were associated with that friend group I also still talked to afterwards. In junior year. Junior year was a bit better. We'll get to that next. But sophomore year, also the summer leading into sophomore year, apparently I'd just become the laughing stock in person. They just made fun of in their group chats. That's what I was told. Could be false, but I was told that by anyone I've talked to since then from that group. Bio doesn't even talk with them anymore, so he told me basically he had just gotten their side of the story. Once he had gotten mine, he realized it was fucking stupid. Fast Hunter had realized it was kind of stupid, but he tried to remain friends with them and me, which ended up boiling over in that sort of petty. I will admit, petty on both sides, honestly. I was too quick to make a video. They were just petty cunts, but that was nothing new for them. If you want to see that drama, it was last summer on the AA channel, the Fast Hunter rant video. covers a decent bit of it, and then the comments are not great, but that they exist. So that happened. Trying to think. Basically, since then, I talked with them. Sophomore year went by. It happened junior year. I had both game 2 and like my Photoshop class, like second level. In the Photoshop class, that's where I talked with Harpo. Really, it was sophomore year going in junior year in that class, and then the others I talk with in the game classes. Game 2, I remember I talked with. He's been on a few Among Us streams, so I can call him Ceci. Ceci was in that group, in that class. Great Bandita was, and then the other friend, Corporal Cork. That's his YouTube name. We were all friends there. And basically, we were a group. That whole class was screwed. The game 2 class. It went the complete opposite of what the teacher had expected. That was only the second year he had taught that class. The second year that was available, along with the Photoshop level 2 class. That was the second year those classes were available. Originally, it was just the level 1 classes. It was just the game class, and the Photoshop class level 1, and that was it from him, apparently. And then he even added an AP class, which they threw me in for some reason, even though it was supposed to be seniors only. So I got out of it after a day. Got out of it after a day. Because it was something I probably should have honestly stayed in it, because I would have learned coding, which is something that it's one of the things I'm going to be focusing a lot on in upper education. Learning to code and all that fun jazz. But at the time, I was not ready. Mentally, I was not ready for a class like that. I wish I would have taken it senior year though, like this year. I don't know. No, I don't, because COVID screwed everything up. Of course. I had this year planned out. I was gonna have a class with that teacher, and then my 3 cores. That was all I was gonna do. I still have my 3 cores, and I just took a community service. My school has a community service class. Basically, just go be a helper for a teacher for a semester, or the whole year. If you just take it the whole year, it's kind of either or. You can even switch teachers per semester. But I just stuck with the same teacher. We're vibing. He's chill. He's funny. He has an Instagram page about history facts about sports, which is funny. He also has a Twitter where he tweets very funny things. Not so much now, but he used to at least. Let's see. Sophomore. Which year was that? It was sophomore year. Sophomore year, we took a trip up to a university in state. Well, I can say it. You people know I live in West Virginia. I've said it multiple times on the channel and on Twitch. Went up to Marshall University, which is nowhere near where I live. So don't try and think you can find where I live from that. Basically, we went up there. We got to the school at like 6 a.m. and then we got there at like 9 a.m. So, maybe 8 a.m. I don't know. It was a long ass drive. Me and Harpo played on his Switch. I didn't have a Switch yet. I got it. That was like one of my main, like, the gift that everyone pitched into because they knew I really wanted one, which was nice. I very much appreciated it. I got a Switch. My dad, that was a funny story, but just quick story here, quick cut. My dad got me a Switch Lite, and then everyone else pitched in to get me a Switch. He just wasn't in the loop. He just knew I wanted a Switch, so he got a Switch Lite, so he just took it back. My dad's always out of the loop with things. I would have taken it and been grateful with it, don't get me wrong, but they wanted me to choose, and of course I was going to choose the normal Switch. I mean, either one of them could have taken it back. But whichever one I didn't choose, so they got their money back. I'm not going to be like, oh, I choose this one. Now you're just stuck with that. That's just a dick move. I wouldn't know. I mean, they bought it in time for that. So there's that. So basically back to the subject at hand. Stop getting off track. Not a lot happened junior year besides the fact that my group messed around a lot because we got done really early with the like big project of the year, while everyone else was still working. We got like everybody. Our friend group was the people that were experts. It was a Minecraft world. Basically, we were supposed to make it a Minecraft amusement park for the special education department, which I was completely down to do. Don't get me wrong. So there was 4 groups, and each person was like given a quadrant. We had jungle as our theme. We got done in the first half of the year. It was supposed to only take the first half of the year. Every other group in leadership sucked. I'm not gonna lie. It took like the first quarter just to get the world set up because of the way they didn't use commands or anything. He didn't want them to use commands to just slash fill or anything. So they did that. The first semester or the first quarter, we just kind of played survival. Weren't supposed to. We're supposed to do build ideas, but that kind of gets boring after the first week. So then we got hit with a computer virus. Our school got hit with some ransomware. So then we weren't allowed to use thumb drives anymore. That's a fun thing that still exists. It's a new rule. We had to use thumb drives to save worlds or anything, or any of our documents we needed, just to transfer them easier. So then they had to figure out a new way to do that. But I think maybe technically the third semester, but we were basically done and just adding stuff because we were bored. Second semester or second quarter, by the time we got back to working, I believe. Like, we had gotten done before the ransomware, which took us out like the last month of the 9 weeks. And then when we got back and got a certain state of the world they had like saved elsewhere, it was like a week. And then we were just adding stuff because we were bored. And then eventually we just kind of messed around a bit. Mostly the rest of the group. I kept trying to add stuff. So we got booted to quote-unquote test world, aka the world where everybody went that wasn't really doing anything. Well, at least the rest of the group. My entire group tried to blame it on me, the fact that they were messing around and we weren't getting anything done because we were done first. We were supposed to help with the other a different quadrant. Apparently they blamed it on me, but Ceci's just a cool ass dude, cool ass down to earth dude, and backed me up with the teacher because I actually did what I was supposed to do the entire time. So then they all got kicked off. So there was like a half a week period where I was just kind of in the main world messing, like just walking around because my entire group was gone. I was just kind of left out of the loop. So I was just hanging out. So, then COVID hit shortly after that. So the world never got done. So that's unfortunate. So, yeah, since then, the Fast Hunter drama happened. Basically, to explain AA, basically, Fast Hunter was the thumbnail maker for a bit. We removed them from the position. No hard feelings there. A couple weeks later, no, not a couple weeks, it was a couple months later, in the summer, maybe July, maybe August, somewhere around there. It was a bit before we went back to class or anything. Basically, we were playing GTA. I was, back when I still played GTA 5. I got on to spin my wheel and just do some basic stuff. But since I'm friends with Fast Hunter on Xbox, it threw me in his lobby, which happened to have some of the people from that friend group. Won't say which ones in this video. But, not ones I got along with very well. So basically, they came and just, destroyed me a couple of times. I wasn't even flying near them. I just bought an Oppressor Mark II. I didn't even buy like the rocks or anything. I don't have the money for that in GTA. I don't even play it anymore. And I didn't even buy it to be like a cunt like everyone else with an Oppressor Mark II. I literally bought it for convenience. Just because it makes it so easy to get around the map. Literally the only reason. So I had that. I started flying away. I was just kind of flying away around from them. I was in a party with Nomad and Harpo. It was after a stream. It was already like midnight. They got on. Somebody got on for the other friend group, and it just led to a whole thing where they just kind of kept blowing us up and killing us. We were forced to kind of have to fight back. Lasted like an hour and a half. They had laser miniguns, so of course, because they grind the game. Some of them spent money on the game, a lot of money. Some of them grinded, fair enough. But I couldn't grind GTA, dude. It's because the thing with that friend group, I was never in like the 4-man or whatever for GTA or anything usually, unless somebody wasn't available. Usually, sometimes I'd be included. No, didn't really care. That's just the thing, That's why they were all decked out. Just some context for that. And I really wasn't, because I didn't really play. I wasn't ever a big GTA guy. I'd have like spurts where I played it when they got on and we did things. I remember one Christmas or time, because it was snowing and everything, we played mini games and saw like a custom playlist of not mini games, missions and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. We did that a couple times. That was a good time when I actually could be serious too. We had some serious talks occasionally, which are always not necessarily positive or good, but probably good for our friendships at the time and probably somebody's mental health. I don't know. I thought important talks between friends are kind of an important thing, serious talks, all that. But back to the time at hand. So I made a video because Fast Hunter promised to remain neutral, then he didn't. He was helping them, which that was just petty like GTA stuff. But that was after the fact. Fast Hunter had asked for money for making thumbnails, which granted, if we had money, we'd pay him. But we told him going into it, we offered him the part. They're like, hey, we can't pay you because this is AA. The channel doesn't even have them, can't even get monetized now with its subs or anything. So we're like, hey, we don't make money from this, so we can't pay you. Are you sure you want to do this? And he was down. Then he asked for payment. At one point in class, when Harper was not there one day, he asked about payment. And I told him, hey, we can't pay you. Told you this. Kind of got to me a little bit. I think it was a joke. I'm assuming it was meant to be a joke, but it kind of just got to me because it was shortly after we talked about that and he was brought on. I was like, hey, man. Hey, we can't. Told you this. If you don't want to do the thing, let me know. That's fine. That class gave us access to all Adobe software, but we are very limited on like storage and stuff inside Adobe. It was like a student thing, which was nice, but it also ran out randomly between the class years, and it took like 2 months to get back up. So that was a time where I didn't really have Photoshop, or at least a good version. So I ended up paying for the photography plan, which I still pay for today. It's like my only subscription right now. It's only $10 a month, so I mean, hey, if you need Photoshop, it's only $10 a month. You also get Lightroom, which is cool. And then you can upgrade for the student package, and $20 a month. They don't fact check it. You can get all their suite. I'm just saying. I'm not sponsored, but it's that's what I had for a bit. But now I've downgraded back to photography because I don't really have the money. I don't have the income. I have the money. I don't have the actual income. Like, I'm not bringing in the same money I'm spending. Or more. I'm not bringing in more. So I can't really afford that. The only way I'm affording the JO3 SMP is because of Twitch money. Through the Twitch money itself, I can afford that server for 6 months. So, more actually. If I go with the one of these server hosting sites, I can actually afford it probably for a year. If I wanted to put out the entire check towards it, but I don't. I want to put like half. And see how it goes in the first 6 months, and then pay out of pocket if I need to afterwards. It's kind of the whole goal with that. But we'll see how that goes. I say pay out of pocket like it's not coming out of my account anyway, but you know what I mean. Pay with money that wasn't Twitch made, maybe, if I don't make another check from Twitch before then. But basically, not a lot's happened since then. COVID hit, like, the way school, is changed. I haven't seen a single one of them since then from that friend group. I mean, Bio I've talked to and seen a couple times outside of school. Fast Hunter I've talked to a couple times. But besides that, I haven't really talked to any of them. That might change because my school, if a snowstorm at the time of recording, we'd be mostly in person. Like everybody, they're trying to get everybody in 5 days a week in person. The entire school. Not sure how long that would last. I mean, we'll find out by the time this goes up, but, yeah, so, there's that. I think that just about wraps this up. If you guys enjoyed this little two-parter, just some stories about my life stuff, but mostly focused on the yees, everything that happened there. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I don't think I'll do anything like this again, like these story podcasts, whatever. I don't even know how many more podcasts I'll do. I should have announced that by the time this goes up. I'm probably going to end the podcast strictly for the fact it doesn't get, nobody seems really, there's like 3 people that watch it. And while I hope those 3 people enjoy them, I'd rather be able to do 2 videos a week that more people will actually see and actually want to watch. Basically just means you'll get 2 videos, like 2 Saturday videos, except Saturday and Wednesday. By the time this is, this post should be going out about 3 weeks. 2-3 weeks by the time I'm recording that. It gives you an idea of when this is being recorded. So I think the one after this, the Wednesday episode after this, will be the final podcast. Well, not the final, like the final weekly one. I'm still gonna do podcast, but they're not gonna be weekly. They'll be occasionally when I have an episode I want to do. And those will take Wednesday slots. Wednesday slot's basically my slot where I can do whatever I want. Saturday is just always like the same type of video, either a commentary or gaming highlight video. One of the two. Mostly I want to make it gaming highlights. Commentary is literally just if I don't have anything else recorded. Usually. Or there's something topical I want to talk about. But anyways, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this 2-parter of the story of the Yees. Not much else to say. And catch you guys next time.